show, welcome to the show. Here to give you knowledge that you didn't know. Put you on some game, now you got a buzz. You are now listening to Cannabruhz. We back!
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's poppin'?
Feels good.
Corey
Feels good,
Mother
man.
Millsap, the dopest EA himself. This ain't no AI, baby. What's going on?
Man, I feel like I've been on another planet for the past 6 months, man. I've been in this grind, so been going hard on our financial business. So to be back on this media side, it's a breath of fresh air, man. It really is. It really is. Got so many lessons learned, experiences, and I'm just excited to be back with the bros and be able to share it with the world, man. The Cannabruhz.
Hey, you know we got to go ahead and give it to him.
Yeah,
We are going to talk about those lessons that you learned over a crazy tax season, the launch really like never before of Harvest AF Financial Consultant and all that. But first, we need y'all to smash that subscribe button. We need you to share this with somebody who you know enjoys when me and Corey and Carter get together. I mean, we the big three. I don't know what J. Cole is talking about. This is the big three. And make sure that you smash that like button too, man. We need all that love. We need more downloads. We need more support because y'all are the driving force behind the Cannabruhz, and we wouldn't be who we are without you. But we gonna kick it real old school light. We got to bring that OG back. My name is Jarrell. And we are
Corey.
The Cannabruhz. Yes, sir. We got that timing, baby. Y'all ain't seen us remote in a while. Carter, we know you over there. Carter off camera right now, but you know, y'all know wherever we are, Carter's in the building. What's up, Carter?
What's up? I'm just quiet.
Yeah, Carter, you get to chill, man. Do your producer thing and just be like, yo, man, how's it feel to have brother dopest EA back?
It's good. It takes me out of the spotlight, so
that man had to step up like D-Lo, you know, like hey, when LeBron and AD both ain't playing, boy, you like, hey, Austin Reeves got to get busy. You know what? I guess that's more fitting. Like Austin Reeves,
hey, Austin Reeves.
We had to get Carter to come in and score 30 a couple times, man. You know, hey, we held it down, man. You know, one thing that we were continuously trying to tell people about is, you know, we always talk about the business ownership side of our life and how this all works. And you literally being, you know, I wouldn't even say head first, you know, you were, it was a whole body experience into HAF. Was really dope because it really was showing people, hey, you gotta divide and conquer. You gotta figure out how you can, you know, kind of keep multiple things running at the same time, especially if that's what you want. You want the impact and you want the income, even though we do say impact over income. We appreciate y'all rocking with us, man. We really do appreciate y'all rocking with us. We ain't even gonna make y'all wait any longer because we just want to chop it up about some stuff. Let's start with this edition of Word on the Street. Yes, sir. So look, for Word on the Street, we talking about Texas, man. We talking about Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, who wants lawmakers to consider banning Delta 8, Delta 9, and other cannabis-related products. He on that bull, man. In the words of Drake, hey, shut your whole ass up. Shut your whole ass up and make some drums, nigga. Hey, Corey, Dan Patrick over there pissing off many Texans right now. Like, I'm sitting there, so I picked up something from the Dallas Observer, DallasObserver.com, actually, because, you know, who actually is picking up the physical copy. Shout out to them, though. Says Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick today released a list of 57 issues he wants senators to consider ahead of the 2025 legislative session. There are plenty of interesting issues on the list, but one in particular caught everybody's attention. And of course, that's that talk of banning D8 and D9. We back on this same issue again, man.
Mm-hmm.
It's like deja vu. Doesn't it feel like deja vu?
Yeah, man. It's wild to hear. It's wild to hear. Um, this is the thing. So when I look at this, yeah, it says on one hand, he seems to ask lawmakers to propose a ban on these products. But on the other hand, it sounds like he's merely asking for additional
Mm-hmm.
regulations. So when you look at the two in comparison, I think it's fair to pose both, and this is why. When there is so much product out there, when flower is flooding the market, and Jarrell, you and I have both experienced some brands that we've spoken with, or some brands that you know, we looked at their products, they tested way higher than they were
Mm-hmm.
supposed to test, right? For a hemp
I
product,
encountered one today. I ain't gonna drop
and
their name.
or exactly, this is real world stuff. And so it's like, as a consumer, you want to be able to have faith in the brands that you're consuming, right? If you go, hey, this is my first time ever trying cannabis, right? If I'm going to this smoke shop, CBD
Mm-hmm.
store, hemp dispensary, whatever
Mm-hmm.
they want to call it, right? If I'm going in there, I want to be able to know that I'm going to get a quality product that's going to do what it says
Mm-hmm.
it's supposed to do. Versus, you know, you're like, hey, this is supposed to just be CBD, and I'm higher than I'm high. I'm way more high than I feel comfortable with, and I'm never
Mm.
trying this stuff again, right? Or on the other side, um, you know, just get rid of it all. And this is
Yeah,
from
yeah, of
Dan
course.
Patrick,
That's not
Lieutenant
Adobe
Governor.
CA does
It's
not
like,
necessarily
well, look,
condone these views expressed on the cannabis.
exactly.
Right,
I was
right,
playing
right,
devil's advocate, right? It's like, or you just get rid of it all. You don't have to worry about, you know, additional
right.
regulation, because it's all bad. So it's I'll say from a leadership perspective, it's like, well, look, if y'all don't want it to go away, then shape it up.
Yeah, I hear you. I respect that. I definitely am torn with it. I do see what you mean. Like, as far as
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it backwards, right? So before I slightly agree with Dan Patrick, or the concept of regulation in the market, I first would have to say, okay, we already understood that, this new hemp bill that's circulating right now. We're about to get a brand new hemp bill.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody right now is still referencing the 2018 farm bill. My
Farm bill.
apologies.
Yep.
But everybody's still referencing the 2018 farm bill in 2024, and it's been a lot of the 2018 farm bill in 2024, and it's been so much change in the market, right? And now I honestly see that they are threatened by things like THCA, which we've gone down that rabbit hole of trying to explain this is what it is. We talked to the experts. We've covered stories on Word on the Street. We've heard all the perspectives and all the different angles when it comes to THCA. And you got to know, when you get something like THCA that's like, gotcha, bitch. Like, they're not going to be happy about it. And he's like, I'm urging lawmakers to do this. It's like, at the same time where you go, oh, well, regulations are important, you do have to keep in mind this is coming
Mm-hmm.
from people who have said we're not voting for cannabis. Like, that's just so it's where
Mm-hmm.
you see it as, oh, well, regulation and controlling the market and regulating. That's you as a non-biased person who's like, I also have to make sure that if I have a business in this industry, there's fairness or whatever in the market. Also, we are looking to protect the consumer, which everybody should look to protect the consumer, right? So I understand that,
Mm-hmm.
but this is coming from, to be honest with you, as they would say in the streets, just hate. you're not for cannabis anyway, so you're gonna come up with with a list of hey man, let me go ahead and I was like, if this ain't some Karen shit, what do you call a male Karen? Like, huh?
Darren.
Aaron? A Darren. That is some male Karen shit. Kevin.
It's a Kevin. It's a
Kevin.
Kevin.
That's
It's
a
a
good
Kevin.
one. But this is some Kevin shit. You know, you're just like, bro, ain't nobody ask you. The thing about it is you're saying this, and I know we're only making headlines. It is a lot of people that's doing stuff behind the scenes. But for this guy, it's like he puts his name behind the idea of this list because he knows his name carries weight. You know, as being the lieutenant governor of the state of Texas, like he knows his name carries weight. He's trying to get support for that so that he's not walking up trying to storm the building by himself, right? And so he's like, this cannabis thing is out of hand or whatever. But people are talking about that. I just don't want my people in the cannabis industry and the cannabis community to get distracted because that farm bill is coming, right? And that's going to be something to really argue and debate about. So y'all already know, stay tuned.
I had a conversation yesterday with one of our friends out there in Colorado about rescheduling and descheduling and everything like that. And one thing he mentioned for the new people getting into the space was he said, be careful getting in with that THCA. He said a lot of these businesses are like they feel like they struck gold.
I've seen it.
And similar to how Delta 8 took off, right? You know, everybody's like, oh, Delta 8 is not Delta 9, it's all legal, and it blew up everywhere, right? Well, it's only a matter of time, to what Jarrell was saying, right? When that 2024 Farm Bill comes out, and then they make it where and I don't even know how they would even word
they're saying
it,
a cap
but they make
on all cannabis derived products. So you know how we do the whole dry weight Delta 9, it would be dry weight across the board. You know, when as far as testing and regulations, like that's the rumor. That's the word on the street. That's the word on the street. Yeah.
So I mean, I guess even how would that work if, let's say, with THCA again, right? Because THCA, let's say dry weight, it still meets the threshold until it's ignited, then it's, you know, that chemical change amps up that THC, right? So at that point, that's where, you know, most laws, rules, policies come from, even 280E, come from people gaming the system or finding loopholes in the system, and they say, hey, we got to plug this up because this can't come to fruition, this can't continue. So he was saying that there's a high probability that you're putting all your eggs in this THCA basket, and then the regulators, whether it be federal or state, say, no, we can't keep this going, and make changes, and then now your whole business model is ruined. So it's definitely one of those challenges where, as I was telling them, I was like, well, because there's so many disadvantages in the cannabis industry, so much tax that has to be paid, that it's hard to even make a profit. So whenever a cannabis business, hemp or marijuana, get an opportunity to get a competitive advantage so that they can, win and make money for their business and for themselves, and actually be a part of the commerce, right? Be a part of business and quote unquote the American dream. Yeah. Like that's what they're looking to. That's their way of winning, man. That's their opportunity. So they're gonna go all in to make
and
that money.
it's always been about money. I mean, we every time that we cover, legislation on the move, basically, there's always a conversation about economics. Like, it's never just going to be about the love of the plant or the hate of the plant or what, oh, well, I had my friend that was high and he died, in a car accident because he was high or something like that, right? Versus a person that's like, oh, my aunt got healed from cancer, so my whole family, we just love cannabis. And like, there's people that's just on both ends of this thing, based on personal relationship with the flower. I get that. For them, they're just saying anything with D9 being the leader as far as psychoactive, variants or whatnot. That's what they're saying is the issue. It's pretty much we noticed that there were a bunch of loopholes. You just said it pretty much, and I'm going down the article from the Dallas Observer, but there were loopholes. They're looking to close those because they've examined the sale of intoxicating hemp products in Texas. That's where it comes from. Now, of course, he is not trying to have the public riot against him. He's like, this actually comes from Texans who wanted us to put together a list. I was like, oh yeah, where they at? Like, where they at? It's just interesting because I do feel like there's been a shift in recent years when you go out and you speak with Texans, people that were hard against cannabis as a whole. They didn't want to hear hemp versus marijuana. They didn't want to hear D8 versus D9. They were just like cannabis in general demonized, madness, reefer madness. People that were really going for that. Even they kind of changed their tune a little bit. You talk to people now, once again, falls back on economics and like, hey, well, I guess, we could just lean on law enforcement. Oh, okay. So it's a different type of tone now. And I think seeing the public sway to the other side, even just a little bit, even from the white area to the gray area, and now they're like, no, we losing support. So you really got to figure out a way to drum this up. So again, like I said, don't let this be a distraction from that upcoming farm bill that without a doubt will change the landscape of cannabis, whether it's hemp or it's marijuana, because it's going to change business and it's going to change law. That means it's going to change life. So man, y'all stay informed, man. That's all we got to say about that. And we going to the next. Yep. We up. All right. And man, before we get to anything else, hey, we already kicked off the episode this way, but it's just good to have a conversation, man. And just have a conversation while we're recording. I've spoken to Corey, y'all. Don't y'all think that this is my first time seeing him in or whatever. Now, physically, yes, I still got a Make Mentality hoodie with his name on it. It was a cold, rainy day.
Dang, it has been a minute since
it's 80 degrees now, baby. I said that man Corey gonna have to go to MakeMentalityMerch.com and get him a t-shirt. Yeah, right. But I told the audience on Make Mentality Monday, I said, Carter, I got a tee with your name on it, and I got a hoodie with Corey's name on it. I said, I pretty much should have just shipped them right back to y'all or something like that, but I ain't knew it was gonna be this long. I was like, I'm sure I'll see him next week, boy. Next week turn into next decade, boy.
Months, boy. Yeah, it's been a little minute since I've been able to get around there, man.
But it's real.
Been in grind mode, man.
The grind is real, man. There ain't nothing wrong with that. We getting back out there, man. We never try to date our episodes, but this is the week of 420. So it's 420 week. We're in front of 420, not behind it, for all y'all that's listening to this late because you just woke up from a high comatose. We're in the week of 420. We got an event that we're definitely hitting up. So we're out in Dallas. Y'all definitely make some noise, drop some fire emojis in the comment section and let us know that we representing in this thing, man. So we want to hear what y'all are doing for 420, what you did for 420 if you hear this after the fact, and what the Cannabruhz need to be up on as we transition into this new season, man. That it's all about the lessons that you can learn. Don't live life, man, without actually learning the lessons. We talk Make Mentality and stuff all the time. That's cool to have the right mentality, right? But then you got to implement that. Am I right?
No, you are absolutely
you got to implement
right,
it,
man. And it's about confidence. It's about like there's going to be a lot of opportunities that you're
Mm-hmm.
not familiar with, but there's nothing wrong with trying it out and seeing if you're going to fail or see if you succeed. But and just doing it,
That's it.
you learn. And that's the great thing about it. Let's use a better analogy for people. It's
Yeah.
like dating, right? It's like you don't know what you don't like until you experience somebody doing some stuff that you don't like, right? And you like,
What did he say?
if it's
Yeah. No,
it's the
you're right. You're
truth.
right.
Like if you like, you know what, man, I don't like people that are super
Yeah.
sarcastic. I
Yeah, I feel you.
never knew that, but that thing rubs me the wrong way, so I don't like that. So, and after a while, you get that's how you can really grow standards. That's how you
Facts.
learn about yourself, and that's how you grow as with those standards, grow as an individual and mature, and you're able to impact your past knowledge
Mm-hmm.
and wisdom on future experiences and help other people, which in turn makes you
Yeah, you're more
better overall.
fulfilled, you're more purposeful, right? And the whole make
Yeah.
mentality, the concept and everything is really driven by purpose, right? We talk about purpose. And I'm glad that you actually touched on like the lessons, being willing to go out, experience different things and learn the lessons. Covering the Harvest
Mm-hmm.
AF financial consulting side. Of course, you can go to harvestaf.net. We always tell y'all about that. So if you need some help with your finances, what are we helping people with, Corey? What are we helping them with?
Man, we help them with
Mm.
taxes, bookkeeping,
What else?
accounting, tax planning. A lot of people don't realize it. Before I even get there, it's funny because you mentioned, we're on the
Yeah.
cusp of
Yep.
420, right? 420 wasn't even the date I was looking for, man. I was looking for April 16th, which
The
is
day after.
yeah,
Yeah.
which is the day
Yep.
after tax
Yep.
season, right? That's been my day since shoot
Yes, sir.
November, right? That's been the day that I've been shooting for. It's
And here we
April
are, baby.
16th. Yes, sir. And it's you don't realize, you forget how much misinformation there is
Till
out
it's
there.
brought to you, huh?
You realize how, and y'all don't kill me in the comments, but you don't realize how ignorant people are when it comes to finances. And
That part.
it's funny because I'm an enrolled agent, right? I'm a credentialed enrolled agent, and taxes is the
Right.
name of the game for me. And I've sat down and talked to some of our clients. And I was like, "Hey, man, you owe $35,000 in taxes."
What did he say?
Yeah, $35,000 in taxes. And it's always, if you're a house, let's say it's a household where it's a husband and wife that have separate bank accounts, right? They have separate finances, right? But they file jointly. So now it's like, whose fault is it that we owe so much? But the crazy and funny thing is, it's cyclical. This happens
Yeah.
with these same clients
Right.
every single year. Every single year, right? And it's like, look, I gave you a plan. I told you, one is high income earning employee, one's an employee and also a business owner, right? I told you the importance of tax planning. I told you the importance of federal tax withholding. I told you the importance of bookkeeping, right? So you can track how much you've made and how much you've spent and your cash flow
Mm-hmm.
going in and out, right? But yet when I give you this plan, you don't want to listen, and or you want to, okay, I got your plan, but let me tailor it like this. Let me put my spin on it. So it's not the plan anymore. And okay, so we filing separately, but I owe $42,000 now?
Crazy.
How? And it's wild, man. It's wild. So
Do you feel like that was
I
the
say all
biggest
that.
lesson that you felt that you were giving out this tax season, is just like being aware of things like your filing status, for example, of understanding that you need to come up with a plan first of all, and not just be reactive between January and April 15th? Or like, what's the biggest lesson? Is that the biggest
Mhm.
lesson that you were able to, the game you were able to give on the Harvest Day side this tax season?
Man, the biggest
We got to give
lesson.
it to them now, so maybe they got a
That-
chance for next year.
right. That's tough, man. It's tough because so many people don't understand the
Mm,
tax code. So many people are listening to uncredentialed people that don't know the
shout out to them
tax code.
TikTok tax preparers
And
out there.
yeah, man. Look, like I had people like it's crazy, y'all, because we handle taxes, we handle tax preparation, tax planning, and all that. But how we prepare your tax return is we ask for previous year's
Yep.
tax returns. We ask for your previous year's profit and loss. And you've heard
Mm-hmm.
me say this before. And I've seen some crazy stuff, and two, it opens the floodgates because your financials tell a picture
Right,
about
right.
your business, and it also tells a picture about what you've done, and who'd you file your taxes with. And I've heard so many stories of shady tax preparers um, dipping off. They can't get a hold of them. The tax preparer opened up all these
Mm-hmm.
accounts in their name, um, or the tax man. Tax preparers filing the wrong forms
Mm-hmm.
because they don't know. Like, bro, you're a whole corporation, man. Why you got a Schedule C on your tax return, man? And I know that may be
No,
a little
we
bit
talk
too
that talk.
yeah. Well, I'm saying just for our listeners, man, it's like they may not know what
Yeah.
a Schedule C is, and so like it's
Profit
a
and loss.
your profit and loss for your business, like whether if you're a sole proprietor or like you're
Mm-hmm.
self-employed or a single member LLC. That's you'll file
Right,
a
right.
Schedule C, but a corporation has its own tax
Mm-hmm.
return to file, and people were just like, "Oh, for real? Like I had no idea." So it's a lot of miseducation out there when it comes to the tax code and
Yeah.
taxes in general. So it really inspired me. It's inspired me to help continue to educate, to increase my knowledge so I can continue to
Yeah.
educate the community. Um
You're gonna have to, what's funny? I was thinking about
uh
we talk about the plug talk, the pull-ups that we'll be doing. Pulling up at random
yeah.
dispensaries, smoke shops, and similar type of establishments in the cannabis industry in the state of Texas. Um it's funny because we want to have the conversations we want to have. We basically taking this podcast to them, when we talk about like what the type of the line of questioning that they'll be going through. I think it's going to be real interesting when we pull up and we having those real conversations, you know what I'm saying, with people about their businesses. yes, we may not be able to freestyle the ultimate solution that's gonna, you know, save you six figures and all this kind of stuff, but we're gonna give you some game that points you in the right direction, and then give you an option for a solutionist. Basically, there's a lot of different things that we can point them in the direction of. I just think that is going to be an opportunity for us to just have that real conversation with people. You know what I mean? Like, it's one thing to be like, yo, let's highlight the dopest products that you have on the shelf. But then when you actually want to talk to them because you've gone through all this different stuff, what Harvest AF, now you'll be able to say, hey, what's up? What's really going on? Like you said, hey, you're a whole corporation. Like, why am I seeing the schedule? See, stuff, conversations like that, where you're just like, it's simple stuff where you're like, let me at least inspire you to examine your finances a little bit more. And let that be the first step, is that you actually decided to care more instead of just putting it in the hands of an individual who you just happen to trust for whatever reason. I think that's going to be valuable for, for the DFW area, North Texas, Texas in general, and anybody else we can make it to. You know?
Yeah, man, and even outside of finances, man, it's the struggles of being an entrepreneur,
Glad you said it.
and or I don't even want to just say entrepreneur, because I feel like that terminology has been used so much, but being
Mhm,
self-employed,
mhm.
running your own business, running
Talk
your
about
own
it.
operation, and what
And I
comes
wanted to
with
point
that.
in that direction
You know
too. I was gonna
the
ask you on the flip side, what's the biggest lesson that you've learned? Not that you've given out, but the biggest lesson that you've learned uh through our mission to divide and conquer.
mm, that's tough. I'm trying to
Or just one that comes to mind, where you're like, this is a valuable thing. Either something I won't do again or just a different way.
okay, okay. The importance of systems
Okay.
and
That's a great one.
processes. That's huge, because every business, you're in business
Mhm.
to make money, right? So, or you let's say your mission is to help people, but you need the resources to help
Yeah,
people, and that resource is money, right? You got to have that fuel for your business so you can continue to operate and provide the service and or product that you want to
of
provide to
course.
the community. Um, but in doing so, you have to have systems and processes in place. So, a lot of people, they get in the business and they want to scale, you know, but in scaling, you can focus on scaling, but how's the
Yeah.
customer service going to be? Because especially if you're if you don't have the people in place and the procedures in place for when you bring either a client on or you need to sell a
Mhm.
product or whatnot, then it's going to cause frustration within the
Yeah.
organization. It's going to cause stress. It's
Yeah.
going to cause anxiety, because you're constantly trying to put out fires. It's like, think of a restaurant that the person is the chef, the server, the hostess, the busser, like the bus boy or girl, and the cashier, right? You're trying to do all that. You understand there's a system that goes with all that. But when you're trying to run around and do those
Mhm.
multiple positions, even if you are successful at it, the likelihood of burnout is high,
Fact.
because sustain you can't sustain that workload, and you're with that workload, you can't take on a lot of clientele, because you won't be able, you're at
Yeah.
capacity already. So how, even though you need more
Mhm.
revenue coming in
Mhm.
for your business, you can't get more revenue because you're trying to you don't have the capacity to bring anybody else in without your
Yeah.
business
And bro,
imploding.
I just wanted to
So
say,
go ahead.
it's if you want to simplify it for any listener that's out there, it's support, right? When you're talking about customer service, like we get used to that word too much, right? It's because we all are a consumer in some way of something, right? And when you think of customer service, you're like, oh, okay, it's just being nice, or like that's how you see it. But from the business owner standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
it's you have to look at it as support. I am trying to support this person that has this issue. Yes, they have a problem and an issue, but a lot of times when they first run to you and say, "Hey, my house is burning down," blah blah blah, then you go put out the fire. So now it's not burning down, but then you got to deal with a whole lot of other issues that came from the house being on fire in the first damn place, right? And so, what are they looking for
Mm-hmm.
from that firefighter? Right? They're looking for support in
Mm-hmm.
that moment. Like, hey, I know you just put out fires, but do you mind pointing me in the direction of what I'm saying, these services, that
Mm-hmm.
my family could use because we've lost everything. You know what I'm saying? Like, so when you really look at businesses and when you look at the way that picture just looks, we're really just talking about support. Can you support the people that
Mm-hmm.
you offer the solution to? Right. And like you said, the whole
Mm-hmm.
idea of trying to grow too fast and all that kind of stuff. Well, support. Capacity, of course, is the same thing. But I'm just saying, like in this context, but support is really what we're talking about. And that if you think about it in that way, because we talk about people, we're talking about business here,
Mm-hmm.
yes. But you have to remember we're talking about people. People want to feel comfortable. They want to feel
Mm-hmm.
confident with you, right? And now, so that you are now a person who was a stranger to them in this way. I don't care if you knew them before or whatever. When they become your client, you were a stranger to them in this way. They don't know what kind of service you offer and all that kind of stuff. So you have to be able to lend that support, communicate that support. Hey, this is what we have for you. This is the guidance. What is it that they need when you talk to them in these strategy sessions and stuff like that, right? It's like, what
Mm-hmm.
are they are supposed like what is it that is the issue? What is the it's the fire? Okay, it's a fire, right? It's support that they need.
And I guess I want to say two things. I want to one wrap it up with a bow and say, and it goes back
Hmm.
to your financials. So if you don't know what your cash flow is, then how do you get the support? And what does that mean? So if you don't know how much you're bringing in, how much you're spending, and what's left over after you've spent what you need to spend, how do you know when and how soon you can get the
Mm,
support that you need and how much you can afford to
mm,
pay that support? So, and that's where that accounting and bookkeeping really comes in, because you have to understand your business. You have to understand your financial picture so that you can be able to afford that support and then build that system and the systems and processes in place, that foundation, so that you can
mm,
potentially scale. The second thing I wanted to say, because you brought up something and it reminded me, there are so many people that owe back taxes, or let me rephrase that. There are so many people, they don't file for 1 year for given, and there's multiple reasons why: family issues, the pandemic, you forgot, you don't know
there's always just
how,
the voluntary fuck the
and
government.
and,
Like,
and
I'm serious. Like,
yes,
there's people you talk to that's like, I don't
that
trust it, so I'm not paying tax.
and it
Mm-hmm.
snowballs. It snowballs, and then it's 2 years you didn't file. And what you're doing is there is fear and avoidance, and then it's
Mm.
3 years you didn't
Damn.
file, and all because of the first year. Let's say you owed, right? You weren't prepared to owe, and now it's
Mm.
been 3 years, you haven't filed, and now all these penalties and interests have racked up that you don't even know about. and it's setting you up for failure. And now when I come and speak with you, like, one, it's gonna cost. It costs to clean all that up, right? Especially if you're a business owner, right? It costs to go backwards. We gotta look at all your books. And if you haven't had books, what happens? You gotta get that cleaned up before you can file an accurate tax return. And the common question that I heard was, well, can you guarantee that I'm gonna you can get rid of either how much I owe or that the cost is going to be reduced from like the cost with the IRS. And it's like, well, why am I paying you? Let's throw out a number. Why am I paying you $6,000 to clean up 3 years worth of taxes and clean up bookkeeping for 36 months if I don't get the guarantee that you can reduce, or that the IRS will reduce, or that you can get me a refund for this? So, and it's like it's a double-edged sword. It's like, well, I already owe the IRS, but now I got to pay you to get me compliant so I can pay the IRS more. So what happens? Year 4 comes around, they don't file. It's like, you got to stop the bleeding at some point.
Come on, man. This man over here preaching, man. Some people we talk about it. We just talked about it. The idea, the snowball effect of you just not seeing the importance of filing your taxes, and then that carries forward to the next year and so forth, right? Some people actually believe that our whole idea, we talking on a federal level, we ain't talking on a state level, but that the whole idea of income taxes and all that kind of stuff isn't even necessary. Did you know that? Did you know some people actually believe that? Some people believe it's it is a necessary thing because we got to take care of each other and taxes have to be paid. And other people are like, hey, that because that's the only way, right? And then other people are like, nah, bro, man, that nah, it can't be. Now we have a person that we reached out. Yo, shout out to Bess Byers, right? Bess Byers. What's good?
What's good?
You got some little Cannabruhz love right there, Bess Byers. It's at Bess Byers, BESSBYERS on IG. We're following her, she's followed us, and we were and I saw it because there's always you said misconceptions. There's a lot of TikTok myths and all this kind of stuff. But she had a post that was so intriguing about the idea that the actual question that poses, is an income tax necessary? And I wanted to play that real quick for our audience.
Some people say society couldn't function without an income tax, but did you know it didn't always exist? Let's talk about it. For almost the first 100 years of US history, nobody paid an income tax. In the late 1800s, politicians twice tried to implement one. The first time it helped fund the Civil War, but eventually got repealed. And the second time, the Supreme Court actually ruled the income tax unconstitutional. So how did it come to be? At that time, a lot of people supported the idea of an income tax. People thought it would be an easier way to help those in need, and President Teddy Roosevelt even said it would help finance America's military power. So in 1909, politicians wanted to attach an income tax to a tariffs bill. Opponents thought they could defeat the bill by requiring a constitutional amendment instead. I mean, really, would 3/4 of the states ratify the Constitution to tax your income? Yes, they would. By 1913, the 16th Amendment became law of the land and the income tax system started to take shape. At that time, our income tax rate was 1%, and the 1040 form looked like this. Today, the top tax rate is 37%, and filing is a mess. The IRS has a $14 billion annual budget and employs 80,000 agents, including those willing to use force against you. And if you don't pay your income tax, the government can seize your property and throw you in jail. So is an income tax a necessity of life? History shows us it's not.
So I can lean on my knowledge on it. I actually read some ads talking about it. And the ad was pretty much like everybody is focused on the Shannon Sharp and Cat Williams interview, when they need to be wary and understanding of where all the
Come
tax
on.
revenue is going. And then it talked about how 86% of the tax revenue, income tax revenue, and payroll taxes, so your Social Security and Medicare taxes, that combined with income taxes made up 86% of the government's budget. And then another 4 or 15% was the corporate income tax that came in. And so, and then I can't remember what the other little small piece was. And that is concerning, but it's also the reality, right? So if I believe it was like 54% was the income tax, is that good? Is it bad? Right? Well, it's all dependent upon the uses of that income tax. So if the government is using it to fix roads, if the government is using it for the school system, if the government is using it, if we as a people have an idea of where the tax revenue is going and we agree with the usage of it, then it is good that we have an income tax, right? What's bad is that corporate income tax is 15%, but the corporations make more money than the individuals. But I believe it was 54, 55% comes from income tax, right? So the individual, right? So that means that the people, instead of the corporations, are paying more in income in taxes and supporting the government versus the corporations that are making billions and maybe
Not
even trillions of dollars, right?
The fact that we're talking
But that
about
also
low income, middle class. We're not talking like just the people that ball out. Like when we say individual taxes,
exactly.
You're talking about regular people that make just enough and feel like they don't even have enough to live out their lives.
Exactly, and really, it's the middle class that's paying for the most of it.
The people not getting those not getting the refunds anymore because they're not necessarily under the low threshold or whatever. Those people are the people that are paying the taxes. And to Bess Byers' point, I just want to big her up one time, but she said, someone asked her in the comment section, so if the Fed can just print money, where the hell is the income tax money really going? Her reply was war, politicians, and special interest groups. And but a lot of people have posed that. If we knew, I'm glad you said, that's why I was like, preach. Because if we actually had an idea, hey man, you just got this random statement, right? Or I don't know, they probably would do it through media these days if that was a thing. If we knew where our actual tax dollars were going, maybe even, by percentage, of course. I don't expect them to mail us, hey, you paid $3,500 in taxes and 200 went to this, 300, that would be cool. But I would just say at least a percentage breakdown. But that's why a lot of people are distrusting, they don't have the trust necessarily for government agencies, because one of the biggest issues is the tax issue. It's like it's a secret hush hush thing, and you just go like, a lot of people are failing to see how our democracy is leading us in the right direction, as people. Because like, do you really have say so, or how does this really work? Or are we just being told that, Santa Claus is real?
I personally think it comes down to financial literacy, right? Bring it back full circle.
Bring it back.
Right? So the tax code offers credits and deductions, right? The credits are often some type of incentive program, right? In addition to that, if you understood the tax code or the tax, it's kind of like a game, right? If you understood how to plan for your taxes, you can drastically reduce the amount that you pay legally, right? I'm not talking about tax evasion. Still stimulate the economy and make your money work for you more so than just giving it away to the government and hoping that $35,000 that you paid in tax liability goes to some type of good cause.
Can really use it. Here you go.
Because again, if the corporations that are making the billions of dollars contribute to 15%, that's because they understand the tax code. So it's on us as individuals and us as financial professionals, right, to utilize the tax code to our advantage so that we get the most bang for our buck out of the tax code as well, while helping the economy.
Man, you ain't doing nothing but preaching to the people. Hey, don't y'all love having the dopest EA Corey Millsap back? Come on now, go ahead and make some noise. Yeah, man. That's what it is, man. And those are, you said that it's like a game, but we call that, what Corey just did, putting you on game, man. It's the things that even just seem like the simplest conversation, but awareness is key. Y'all got to be aware out there. But hey, don't trust us. Trust somebody like Harvest AF. HarvestAF.net. Go ahead and hit us up. Or where can they reach us? What's that? They can reach us at I would say HarvestAF.net. Let's keep it there.
Yeah, man. Look, y'all go to HarvestAF.net. On the homepage. One, you can book a strategy session with us or a free consultation. But two, you're gonna see a couple of resources. One, there's a free ebook for smart tax strategies for high income earners, right?
Come on,
written
now.
by us at Harvest AF Financial Consulting, right? So you can sit there, you can download it, or you can read it on the website. You can just flip through the page and read it, right? So that's one, because ultimately we want to sow back into the community. So we don't get any type of financial gain from you downloading that ebook. It's just there for you to learn, for you to grow and get the seeds of the fruit get the fruit from the seeds that we're planting. So that's one. Two, you're going to see an article from the IRS tax commissioner or the IRS commissioner from 2023, where he states that Black taxpayers are taxed up to 5 times more than non-Black taxpayers.
Wait a minute.
And this is the question I'm going to pose to you. I'm not going to go into it because you need to go onto our site and read it for yourself. How does the software, how does the IRS know if we're Black or not? Because you don't put a race on your tax return. So how are we 5 times more likely to be audited? How are we the lowest? We spend the most as consumers,
stimulating the hell out that economy,
but we make the least as a ethnicity or race. But yet we're audited 5 times more than our non-Black counterparts. And remember, about 56% of the federal budget comes from income tax. And if we're audited, that comes with penalties and interest. So just I ain't gonna keep going into it like that, but like let's
They can head on over to harvestaf.net, right?
they get www.harvestaf.net. If you want to get in touch with us, hit us up at harvestaf.net. You can hit us up at harvestaf on Facebook and or Instagram.
Yeah, man. And then I was somebody getting a lineup? God damn. Carter, you getting cut.
No, that's God telling me that I need to hit that barbershop right there, boy.
I said, wait a minute. Oh man, it ain't time for a cut, but it is time for barbershop stories with Corey. Man, we've been waiting for this one, man. What do you have for us today? You were about to bring us home. Don't hit that home run. No pressure. Nah, man, what you got for us today, bro? What's been going on?
Man, I have so many stories. You know, it's like when you have a lot of stories, but it's hard to remember because you've experienced so much. I'll give a brief one, man. This is I found it funny, right? So I talked with a couple, and you know we were running ads. I talked with them earlier, then they kind of fell off, and then they hit me back. They were like, "Hey, man, we need your help to file our taxes and everything," right? I said, "Okay, cool." And then I was like, "Well, you know, what I'm going to need is for you to send us your previous year's tax return just so we can review it for accuracy and everything. And we're going to send you our link to our portal so you can upload the documents and all of that." But I told them, I said, on top of that, you know, we don't necessarily do the a la carte tax services. We have package deals. So that comes with the tax planning. Tax planning helps them save money, of course. And they have a business and everything like that. So I said, this is going to be the cost for it, right? And he said, all right, dope. All right, but now the quality of the call wasn't that strong.
What do you mean by that?
And then
what do you mean by that? The quality of the call.
So his everything he was saying wasn't necessarily the most crisp, right? So you know when I'm hearing him, and then he's just like, "All right, dope." He said, "Like, do y'all take Apple Pay?" And I was like, wait, "Apple Pay?" And I was like, "Nah." I was like, "I don't know if we take Apple Pay." You know, it's like I have to check our software and see if Apple Pay
is acceptable. Is
accepted, right? Yeah, you know, I've never been asked that question. And he's like, "Nah, man." He's like, I didn't say Apple Pay. I said, "Oh, what did you say?" He said, "I said Afterpay."
Damn.
And I was like, "What's Afterpay?" I was like, "I ain't never heard of Afterpay a day in my life." I said, "Afterpay?" He said, "Yeah, man." It's like, he's like, "Yeah, man." He's like, "You instead of me paying, somebody else pays, and I make payments on what they pay." And I was like, "Nah, man." I said, "Nah, man. Nah, man. We don't take no Afterpay, man." Now look. I ain't hate on nobody that uses Afterpay. A dope business model. You know, it helps you. But
it only breaks it up into four payments. It's basically like PayPal Pay Later type thing.
But look, man, what I told the cost that I told you up front was a retainer. It was the retainer. It was to lock us down so we could do business going forward. Like that's
you're like,
so.
Bro, hey,
anyways,
I can't come up with
one
a payment plan for the retainer. You're like, no, payment plan. You would get the money up front. Just like, I ain't never heard it
I had
with
another.
services. I've seen Afterpay. If you shop online and stuff like that, I've seen Afterpay as an option online. Even then, it's kind of crazy, but not the point. But we're a society that thrives off credit and stuff like that, so it's not foreign to people.
Afterpay sounds predatory to me. I haven't done any research on Afterpay, but I would imagine that there's some interest on there somewhere. So, like these payday loans, don't.
It's about $1 interest, or $1 a transaction.
It's $1 per transaction.
Well, it gives you $1 fee, $1.50 fee for the whole payment.
Okay, so the Harvest AF fee was $3,500, right? And then, so I paid that with Afterpay. So I owe this third party $3,501. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, just $1.50. Yeah, you're really just paying for the product.
How are they making money? No,
okay, so
right.
how so if
because Corey, I'm with you. Yeah,
talk about
it.
How am I making money off of this? I'm paying for your bill, right? And you're gonna pay me in payments, right? How am I making money if you're only paying me $1.50 per transaction? So let's say it's 4 payments, right? I'm assuming
it's every 2 weeks.
So they get the money quickly, and so 3,500 divided by 4 or whatever plus $1. So 3,500 divided by 4 plus 25 cents on top of that or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I don't get it. And yeah, business model wise.
Oh no, I have to look into that. I have to look into that.
Well, what's crazy is PayPal when you do that, they don't even charge you anything. So fuck, why am I paying full price when I could split it out into 4 and pay the same price?
Damn, Carter.
Well,
damn.
Why am I paying full price if I can split it up into 4 payments? Well, this is okay. So let's think about that. So how many transactions does a person pay? I mean, how many transactions does a person make in a week? Let's just say it's 100 it's 150 transactions in a week. And if you use Afterpay for a bunch of these transactions, these are a bunch of payments that you owe Afterpay.
Yeah, you definitely. Thank you. I was about to say you definitely can't OD on this. Like,
there's got to be penalty. So they got to get their money off of penalties and interest.
So yes. So I accidentally went overdraft on one of the payments because I totally forgot, and PayPal did bill me like $12 on interest.
So they're betting. So they're betting
on
okay. So they're betting against.
Yeah.
They're betting against the roller, right?
Yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're like the type of people that use Afterpay are the people that don't like to make their payments.
That's
and
true.
So and the people that typically will use Afterpay, I'm just gonna make the assumption that they're typically lower income individuals because most people would just pay for the dang thing. And so their business model is betting against you versus helping you. You think I'm helping you, but I'm waiting for you to mess up so I can make my money. That's
but if you're on top of it, it's just like credit cards. It's a good thing.
But what's the average consumer debt for credit cards?
Yeah, that's true.
And the interest on top. You know how the interest is on credit cards. That's how they get.
But no, but you're right. Anyways, you're desperate. They know the desperation level, right? Because you signed up in the first place. There's a couple people. I know some responsible people. I do that are just like, well, if I could find a way, I could pay it all right now. But if I could find a way, I'm not going to do that. You know what I mean? Like, I have good cash flow and all this kind of stuff, but why would I do that? If you give me an option to not pay, So I'm sure there's some people out like that, but you brought up that really good point that they're targeting people knowing that if you even sign most people that signed up for Afterpay type of deal and all the other competitors like it or whatever, you're probably the same type of person that doesn't pay. And and that's where the predatory practice comes in. It's on the penalties. I get it.
So that's one thing. Another thing that I found funny, and this is on a new tab, is there's a client that we're onboarding, and he introduced a term to me that I thought was funny. And he said, "Yo, I appreciate you working with me, Low Bono."
What did he say?
And I said, "What'd you say?" He said, "I appreciate you working with me, Low Bono." And I was like, first off, I've never heard that before in my life. And that's hilarious. But I instantly understood
Self-explanatory. Yep.
what he meant. And I said, yo. Like, you have like pro bono lawyers. You have pro bono lawyers. Hey, man, we're going to take your case pro bono. We going our firm.
No bono.
Our firm is going to take your case on pro bono.
Low bono. Now imagine hearing that. Imagine seeing that on billboards. We're like, where they won't, we will.
That's what look. Look. We can't promise you that is free, but it will be low bono. No, I just thought that was clever and funny at the same time of putting that two situations together.
I got a question. Was he black?
Plead the fifth.
You're so creative, motherfuckers.
Your Honor.
Yo.
I have to plead. I have the right to not self-incriminate.
Boy, we know as a people, boy, we could just get creative, bro. You'd be like, bro, that was off the cuff. He don't know nobody else that told him that, man. Like he just came up with, he said it like, oh, everybody knows what I mean, because hey, that's good creativity. Good creativity, you ain't got to explain the creativity, right? Like it's just like low bono, you know what I mean? And you're like, yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But boy, black folks do get creative, boy. So I figured.
Look, now this is probably gonna start a whole new conversation topic, and but I think it's
a good place.
It's something that
I was gonna say, is it a good place to transition them to next week?
Yeah, we can transition into next week.
Wait,
yeah.
hold it though. What are we talking about?
So I came across a YouTube channel called Pocket Watching with JT. And I was hooked. Because a lot of the so-called podcasts in the Black community that are about financial growth have been promoting a series of scammers. And these scammers are some of the well-known people that we've seen in these Rolls Royces, in these nice suits, flying private jets. But the whole time, they're running some type of Ponzi scheme. They're finessing our culture. They don't have any type of credentials, but they're promising you the sun, the moon, and the stars. And because of their status, because of the material items that they have, because we're a consumer, the number one consumer in the US, and we're attracted to these material items, we get reeled in hook, line, and sinker.
They got you.
And I find it interesting because
oh no, you can't give them that. They gotta wait till next week. We holla at y'all, baby. Cannabruhz are back.